Welcome to the podcast that delves into the fascinating world of the brain. Today we're discussing a topic that might sound surprising. Could listening to classical music, specifically a Mozart sonata, have a measurable impact on a neurological condition like epilepsy? Please remember, this is not clinical advice. For any health concerns regarding epilepsy, please consult a medical professional.
We're talking about Mozart's Sonata for two pianos in D major, K.448. Recent research suggests this particular piece of music may offer relief for individuals with epilepsy.
That's incredible. I've heard of the Mozart effect in relation to cognitive benefits, but how does it connect to epilepsy?
Well, multiple studies have investigated the link between listening to K.448 and changes in epileptic activity and seizure frequency.
And what have these studies found?
Across several studies using controlled and randomized designs, exposure to Sonata K.448 has been associated with lower rates of epileptiform discharges, those abnormal electrical signals in the brain that can lead to seizures. In some cases, studies also reported decreased seizure frequency.
Can you give us some specific examples from the research?
Certainly. One study observed an average 20.5% reduction in seizures over 6 months in patients with drug-resistant epilepsy. Others reported decreases in those epileptiform or interictal discharges, ranging from approximately 53% to 66.5% in both children and adults.
Those are significant numbers. And how long did people need to listen to the music to see these effects?
It varied depending on the study protocol. Some short-term exposures during EEG recording, typically just 5 to 8 minutes, produced statistically significant declines in epileptic discharges. Other studies involved daily listening over several months, like the one showing the 20.5% seizure reduction over 6 months.
And hey, if you're interested in learning more about how sound frequencies can impact your well-being and focus, be sure to check out the link in the description for a free guide. So, both short-term and longer-term exposures seem to have an effect. Were these studies focused on a particular age group?
The research included both children and adults, although 7 out of the 10 studies mentioned in the report focused specifically on children.
Do researchers have any ideas about why this particular sonata might have this effect? What's the mechanism behind it?
That's the big question, and researchers are still exploring it. Some mechanistic analyses point to changes in brainwave activity. For instance, studies have observed reduced beta power and increased frontal theta power when listening to K.448.
What do those terms mean in simpler language?
Beta waves are typically associated with an active, busy, or anxious mind, while theta waves are often linked to states of relaxation, deep meditation, or light sleep. So, it's hypothesized that the music might be helping to shift brain activity towards a more relaxed state.
And were there any other physiological changes noted?
Yes. One study reported shifts in autonomic balance, specifically indicating increased parasympathetic activity. The parasympathetic nervous system is responsible for the body's rest and digest functions, so this suggests a calming effect.
It sounds like a combination of changes in brainwave patterns and the body's stress response might be at play.
Exactly. The reported neurophysiological changes seem to correlate with the observed clinical outcomes, like the reduction in epileptic discharges and seizure frequencies.
Were there any specific elements within the music that researchers thought were important?
Some studies did look into that. One suggested the original tempo was more effective than slower or faster versions. Another indicated that the fundamental tones and lower harmonics might be more impactful than higher harmonics. The first movement of the sonata and even specific short segments have also been investigated.
So, it's not just any classical music, but there might be something unique about the structure or composition of K.448 itself.
That appears to be the case. While the specific musical elements and brain effects varied across studies, all studies that reported results indicated some form of clinical improvement.
This is really fascinating research. It offers a potential non-pharmacological option that could complement existing epilepsy treatments.
Absolutely. It's important to note that the papers suggest further research is needed to fully understand the underlying mechanisms, but the findings so far are promising and open up exciting possibilities for how music might be used therapeutically.
Thank you for shedding light on this intriguing topic. It's amazing how music can intersect with neuroscience in such profound ways.
My pleasure.
And thank you to our listeners for joining us on the podcast. We'll be back next time with another deep dive into the mysteries of the mind and health. You can find more information about the studies discussed today in the show notes, including links to the research papers.